In 1986, a local cable station here in Hermosa Beach was promoting some sports event, and a friend of mine who was the host of the show asked me if I would be willing to do a match against a local, Varango expert. I agreed to do the match with the guy, but the very last minute, my opponent changed his mind and decided not to do it. So a kickboxer by the name of Ralph Alegria stepped up and volunteered to do the match. So we went to the Carson gym and scheduled the fight to take place. It was a Saturday morning. They had a boxing event going on, and the last fight of the night of the day would be our match. And the deal was, no holds barred. He was going to do his kickboxing, and I was going to do my jiu-jitsu. But there was no gloves, so he put the tape underneath his hands. He taped his hand with no gloves, which makes it extremely dangerous because now that stuff cuts much more. There's no the glove around to protect the person's face anymore. And or the guy's hand. It was just the tape, extremely dangerous. In fact, the people there, the judges and the referees who had watched the boxing event prior to the fight start, where everybody was shocked. Said, wait a minute, the guy has just the tape, but he doesn't have gloves over his hand. That can't do this. It's against the law and all kinds of stuff. And I walked in like this, bare hands and clean hands and so forth, and we squared off. And right before the guy stepped on the mat, he puts Vaseline on his body to make it even more difficult for me to get a hold of him. So anyway, the fight starts. I get into a clinch. It's very slippery, but eventually I come in, take the guy to the ground, end up on top of him, throw a couple of punches. He turns around, and then ultimately all that Vaseline just facilitated the entrance of my hand around his neck, and I choked him out about a minute and a half.